This show is part of OnePlace, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to today's roundup. We are diving into the biggest headlines in entertainment and news, from legal battles in Hollywood to developing stories involving your favorite music icons. Let's get started.
Offset is stable after a shooting outside a casino.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni reach a legal stalemate.
Niall Horan reflects on his final moments with Liam.
Savannah Guthrie returns to today amid her mother's disappearance.
David Schwimmer slams Kanye West over his festival headline.
Sia agrees to massive monthly child support payments.
A shocking ransom note claims Nancy Guthrie is dead.
Matt Lucas faces backlash for criticizing Kanye West's booking.
Starting with Offset's health, rapper Offset, a former member of the influential group Migos, was rushed to the hospital after a shooting incident outside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. The incident occurred on a Monday evening around 7 p.m. in the Valet area. According to reports from TMZ and statements from the Seminole County Police, Offset is currently in stable condition and is being closely monitored by medical professionals. His representatives have assured fans that he is doing fine despite the frightening nature of the event. Police quickly contained the scene and detained 2 individuals as part of their ongoing investigation. Authorities have emphasized that the site is secure and there is no ongoing threat to the public, allowing casino operations to continue as normal while they piece together exactly what happened during the confrontation.
What makes this even more jarring is that eyewitnesses saw Offset just moments before the shooting, and he appeared to be in great spirits. He was seen near an exit, chatting on his phone, and even taking the time to smile for a photo with a fan. There were no visible signs of distress or any indication that trouble was brewing. This tragedy strikes a particularly sensitive chord for the hip-hop community, as Offset is now the second member of Migos to be involved in a shooting. It has been over 3 years since the tragic death of Takeoff, which led to the group's eventual disbandment. Offset, born Kiari Cephas, has also been in the headlines recently due to his high-profile estrangement from Cardi B. As he recovers, the focus remains on his health and the safety of those around him.
Next, the lively legal battle. The legal war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has hit a significant roadblock, as settlement talks reportedly fell apart this week. Both actors met with a judge in New York on Monday in an attempt to resolve their bitter dispute, which stems from their time working together on the film It Ends With Us. Lively has accused Baldoni of sexual harassment and retaliation on set, claiming she suffered at least $161 million in damages. However, the case took a turn when Judge Louis Lemon dismissed 10 of Lively's 13 claims, including all of her sexual harassment allegations. This leaves the case focused primarily on 3 counts related to an alleged smear campaign orchestrated by Baldoni's PR team. Despite the judge's efforts to facilitate a resolution, neither side was willing to budge on their current positions during the remote conferences.
Baldoni had previously filed his own $400 million defamation lawsuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, but that case was dismissed entirely by the judge. The core of the remaining dispute involves Lively's claims that Baldoni crossed professional boundaries during the filming of a dance scene by adding unscripted kisses. While the judge did not find these actions rose to the level of legal sexual harassment in his recent ruling, the tension between the 2 stars remains palpable. With settlement talks stalled, the case is currently scheduled to go to trial on May 18th. It is a high-stakes situation for both parties, as the fallout from the production of the Colleen Hoover adaptation continues to overshadow the film's commercial success. More talks could happen, but for now, a courtroom showdown seems increasingly likely for the former co-stars.
Now to Niall Horan's grief. Niall Horan recently shared a deeply emotional reflection on the loss of his former One Direction bandmate Liam Payne. Appearing on the Tommy Tiernan Show, Niall opened up about the guilt and the endless questions that often follow a sudden tragedy. Liam passed away in October 2024 after a fall from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, an event that shocked fans worldwide. Niall admitted that he has been grappling with thoughts of whether he should have looked into things more or spoken to others about Liam's well-being. He knew Liam had been facing some challenges, but he didn't realize the full depth of the issues at the time. This kind of honest vulnerability from Niall highlights the heavy burden of grief and the complicated nature of supporting friends who are struggling behind the scenes of global superstardom.
One of the most heartbreaking parts of Niall's interview was his description of their final meeting. Just 2 weeks before the tragedy, Liam visited Niall while he was on tour in Argentina. They shared a coffee at a hotel, and Liam even hung out in the dressing room before Niall's gig. Niall remembered it as a warm, ordinary interaction between two old friends with no urgent warning signs that something was wrong. It makes the subsequent news even harder to process, as that mundane afternoon now carries so much weight. Niall recalled finishing his tour in Colombia and returning home, only to receive the devastating news shortly after. His story serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the lasting impact Liam had on those who knew him best during their journey from X-Factor teenagers to international icons.
Moving to Savannah Guthrie's return. Savannah Guthrie made a courageous return to the Today Show this week, marking her first time back in Studio 1A since the disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie. Her colleagues, including Hoda Kotb, Craig Melvin, and Al Roker, welcomed her back with open arms, noting the symbolic timing of her return just after Easter. Al Roker mentioned that the family of anchors would hold her hand through this difficult transition. Savannah had been on a 2-month hiatus as the search for her 84-year-old mother continues. Before stepping back into her hosting duties, Savannah shared a deeply personal video message where she discussed the toll this uncertainty has taken on her faith. She admitted to questioning whether even Jesus had felt the specific, cruel injury of not knowing the fate of a loved one, describing her current state as being in a period of agony and confusion.
Despite the immense pain of the situation, Savannah expressed that she felt a conviction to return to work, stating that she simply couldn't stay away any longer. She spoke about finding comfort in the belief that God has compassion for these human feelings and promises a presence, even when immediate answers are withheld. Her return to the airwaves is a testament to her strength, but it comes at a time of heightened tension as the investigation into Nancy's disappearance remains active. Hoda Kotb has been a vocal supporter, sharing how Savannah's desperation to find her mother is being met with a reliance on her spiritual foundation. The Today Show team has made it clear that they are prioritizing her well-being as she navigates the dual challenge of a high-profile career and a devastating personal crisis that has captured the nation's attention.
Next, David Schwimmer's criticism. David Schwimmer is taking a firm stand against Kanye West's upcoming headline performance at the Wireless Festival in the United Kingdom. The Friends star took to Instagram to praise major sponsors like Pepsi, PayPal, and Diageo for pulling their support of the event. Schwimmer described these corporations as companies with moral clarity for refusing to platform an artist he labeled a hate-mongering bigot. He pointed out that West, now known as Ye, has used his massive platform to spread anti-Semitic lies and stereotypes to millions of followers. Schwimmer's post reminded the public that it was less than a year ago that West released a song with a highly offensive title and sold merchandise featuring hate symbols. For Schwimmer, the issue isn't just about the words spoken, but the real-world damage and violence that such rhetoric can inspire against the Jewish community globally.
While Kanye West has issued apologies in the past, citing his mental health struggles, Schwimmer remains highly skeptical of their authenticity. He suggested that a recent apology ad in the Wall Street Journal was likely a calculated PR move to smooth the way for his return to the stage. Schwimmer noted that Ye has a history of apologizing only to later double down on his previous hateful remarks. He also called out other artists, like Lauryn Hill and Travis Scott, for supporting Ye's comeback without publicly denouncing his past actions. Schwimmer argued that the community harmed most by Ye's words has no reason to trust him until he makes a sincere effort to repair the damage. He specifically called for Ye to disavow his offensive music and meet with Jewish leaders to demonstrate a genuine commitment to change, rather than just seeking profit from a festival appearance.
Now, Sia's divorce settlement. Pop superstar Sia has reached a significant financial agreement in her ongoing divorce from Dan Bernard. According to legal documents, the singer has agreed to pay a staggering $42,500 per month in child support. These payments reportedly began on April 1st and are set to continue on the 1st of every month. This substantial amount reflects the high-stakes nature of the split and Sia's commitment to providing for their son, Somersault. The agreement comes after a period of public legal maneuvering, with Sia enlisting the help of famed divorce attorney Laura Wasser to navigate the complexities of the case. While the monthly figure is eye-popping to the general public, it appears to be a key component in finalizing the terms of their separation and ensuring a stable financial future for their child as they move forward with their lives.
Beyond the financial support, the former couple has also finalized their custody arrangement. They will share legal custody, meaning both parents will have an equal say in major decisions regarding their son's upbringing. They have also established a clear schedule for holidays to avoid future conflict. Dan Bernard will spend Hanukkah and Father's Day with Somersault, while Sia will have him for Christmas, Easter, and Mother's Day. This structured approach suggests that despite the initial messiness of the divorce, both parties are now focused on a cooperative co-parenting relationship. The high cost of the settlement might be the price for peace, but it signals that the most contentious parts of the battle may finally be cooling down. For Sia, who often keeps her private life guarded, this public resolution marks a major step in closing a difficult chapter and focusing on her family.
Shifting to the Guthrie investigation. In a chilling development, new ransom notes have surfaced regarding the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. On the very day Savannah returned to work, TMZ reported receiving 2 messages from an individual claiming to know the location of Nancy's body. The sender, who claims to be the same person who previously asked for Bitcoin in exchange for information, stated bluntly that Nancy is dead. The email expressed frustration at being dismissed as a scammer by authorities and demanded half a Bitcoin up front to reveal the location of the body and the identity of the kidnapper. This person also claimed to have been outside the United States for years and insisted they were not involved in the crime itself, but rather wanted enough money to start their life over quietly without entering witness protection.
A second note followed, claiming that the author had seen Nancy alive with her captors in Sonora, Mexico. This conflicting information adds another layer of confusion and distress to an already heartbreaking case. The Pima County Sheriff's Department has responded to these alleged ransom notes, stating that all tips and leads are being taken seriously. They are currently coordinating with the FBI to investigate the validity of these claims. For Savannah Guthrie, these developments coincided with her first morning back on air, where she tried to maintain a professional exterior while dealing with the agonizing uncertainty of her mother's fate. The investigation has been ongoing since Nancy was last seen at her home in Tucson, Arizona, on January 31st. The emergence of these notes highlights the desperate and often predatory nature of the information being funneled to the family and law enforcement during this crisis.
Finally, Matt Lucas's controversy. Comedian Matt Lucas is facing intense backlash after criticizing the decision to have Kanye West headline the Wireless Festival. Lucas, who is Jewish, posted a sarcastic message on social media suggesting that releasing songs like Heil Hitler and selling swastika t-shirts were now qualifications for headlining major events. While many agreed with his stance against anti-Semitism, a large wave of critics quickly labeled him a hypocrite. They pointed to his past work on shows like Little Britain and Come Fly With Me, which featured characters that many now view as racist caricatures, and ableist. Specifically, his use of blackface in various sketches has been brought back into the spotlight. Critics argue that Lucas is in no position to take a moral high ground when his own career was built on mocking marginalized groups and using offensive tropes for entertainment purposes.
The controversy has reignited a debate about accountability and the evolution of comedy. Lucas and his collaborator David Walliams did apologize in 2020 for their use of blackface, leading to Little Britain being removed from several streaming platforms. However, many followers feel that his recent comments about Kanye West ignore his own history of problematic content. The row over Kanye's booking has even reached the highest levels of government, with Prime Minister Keir Starmer calling the rapper's 3-night headline slot deeply concerning. Despite the widespread fury, the festival organizers have moved forward with the booking, leading to a fractured public response. For Lucas, the situation has turned from a critique of hate speech into a defensive battle over his own legacy. It serves as a reminder of how past creative choices can complicate a person's ability to speak out on contemporary social and political issues.
That wraps up our briefing for today. Thank you for joining us for this update on the stories that matter. Be sure to follow the show for your next daily briefing and stay informed.